What if the reason you feel exhausted all the time isn't laziness, lack of motivation, or even anxiety? What if your brain has been stuck in survival mode for so long that stress has started feeling normal? Most people think stress is just a mental feeling. Something emotional. Something temporary. But stress is actually one of the most powerful biological systems inside the human body. It changes your thoughts, your emotions, your energy, your sleep, your focus, your patience, and even the way you experience life itself. And the strangest part is this. Many people are deeply stressed without fully realizing it. Because stress does not always look dramatic. Sometimes stress looks like smiling while feeling emotionally exhausted. Sometimes it looks like losing motivation for things you used to enjoy. Sometimes it looks like overthinking every small situation. Sometimes it looks like being physically tired but mentally unable to rest. And over time, people begin believing this state is simply adulthood. But the human nervous system was never designed to live under constant pressure every day. To understand stress, you first need to understand what your brain actually cares about most. And surprisingly, it's not happiness. Your brain's number one priority is survival. Every second of the day, your nervous system quietly scans your environment asking, "Am I safe?" If the answer feels uncertain, even unconsciously, stress begins activating automatically. Deep inside the brain is a small structure called the amygdala. Think of it as an internal alarm system. Its job is to detect threats and react quickly before you even consciously process what's happening. Thousands of years ago, this system kept humans alive. If someone heard movement in the bushes at night, stress hormones activated immediately. The heart beat faster. Muscles tightened. Senses sharpened. The body prepared to fight, run, or survive. The problem is that modern stress is completely different. Today, most threats are not physical. They're psychological. Financial pressure. Fear of failure. Social rejection. Relationship problems. Loneliness. Uncertainty about the future. Feeling behind in life. Feeling not good enough. And your brain reacts to many of these emotional threats almost the same way it reacts to physical danger. That means a stressful email can trigger your nervous system. A text message can change your heart rate. A difficult conversation can affect your digestion. Even imagining future problems can activate stress hormones inside your body. Your brain often cannot distinguish between a real danger and a vividly imagined one. That's why people can become anxious while lying safely in bed at night. The body responds to thoughts as if they are happening now. Once stress activates, the brain releases chemicals like adrenaline and cortisol. These hormones are designed to help you survive immediate danger. Your breathing changes. Your heart pumps faster. Your muscles prepare for action. Blood flow shifts toward survival systems. This response is incredibly useful during short-term emergencies. But here's where modern life becomes dangerous. The stress response was designed to activate temporarily, not constantly. Years ago, a stressful moment might last minutes. Today, people carry stress in their minds all day long. And when stress never fully turns off, the body begins paying a price. Sleep becomes lighter. Patience decreases. Focus becomes harder. Memory weakens. The immune system suffers. Emotions become harder to regulate. This is why chronically stressed people often feel emotionally overwhelmed by things that normally wouldn't bother them. The nervous system becomes overloaded. And maybe you've experienced this yourself. Maybe small inconveniences suddenly make you irrationally irritated. Maybe your mind keeps replaying conversations late at night. Maybe you feel mentally tired even after doing very little. Maybe you've noticed yourself becoming emotionally numb or disconnected. Those are not random personality flaws. They are often signs of a nervous system stuck in survival mode. One of the most important things to understand about stress is that the body remembers experiences even when the conscious mind tries to move on. Someone who experienced constant criticism may become highly sensitive to judgment. Someone who lived through emotional instability may struggle relaxing even during peaceful moments. Someone who experienced rejection may unconsciously expect abandonment. The nervous system learns patterns. And once the brain begins expecting danger, it starts looking for it everywhere. This is why stress changes perception itself. When calm, people think clearly. When stressed, people become hyperalert. The mind starts scanning constantly. What if something goes wrong? What if I fail? What if they're upset with me? What if I embarrass myself? What if things never improve? This mental scanning is exhausting. And over time, it creates something many people call overthinking. But overthinking is often the brain trying desperately to create certainty. The mind believes, if I analyze everything carefully enough, maybe I can avoid pain. But instead of creating safety, constant overthinking usually creates more stress. And modern life gives the brain endless reasons to stay activated. Phones, notifications, social media, news, comparison, pressure to succeed, pressure to appear happy, pressure to keep up with everyone else. Human beings were never designed to process this much information constantly. Even while supposedly relaxing, many people are still overstimulating their nervous systems. Scrolling for hours, reading negative headlines, watching stressful content, comparing their lives to strangers online. The body stays alert even while sitting still. And something very interesting happens during chronic stress. Life slowly becomes smaller. You stop being fully present. You stop enjoying simple moments. You stop feeling emotionally connected to things around you. Instead of truly living, the mind becomes focused on avoiding discomfort. That's why chronic stress often steals joy quietly. Not all at once. Slowly. And because the change happens gradually, many people don't realize how disconnected they've become. Some people begin calling themselves lazy when they're actually emotionally exhausted. Others think they've lost ambition when their nervous system is simply overwhelmed. Stress affects motivation deeply because the brain under pressure prioritizes survival, not creativity or excitement. This is why burnout can feel so strange. A person may still care about their goals intellectually, but emotionally they feel empty. And one of the saddest things about modern stress is how invisible it often looks from the outside. Someone can continue working, smiling, posting online, talking normally, and functioning socially while internally feeling completely overwhelmed. Modern stress is often silent. People don't always break down dramatically. Sometimes they just slowly disappear emotionally. And there's another important truth many people don't realize. The body needs emotional safety just as much as physical safety. Being around unpredictable, critical, manipulative, or emotionally draining people keeps the nervous system activated. Meanwhile, emotionally safe relationships calm the body naturally. A calm voice can reduce stress. Feeling understood changes body chemistry. Feeling emotionally accepted helps the nervous system relax. Human beings regulate emotionally through connection more than they realize. This is why loneliness can feel physically painful. The brain interprets deep social disconnection as danger. And maybe this explains why so many people today feel internally exhausted even when their lives look normal from the outside. Because emotional pressure accumulates silently. One difficult day is manageable. But months or years of pressure eventually overwhelm the nervous system. And then suddenly people reach moments where they say, "I don't feel like myself anymore." What they're often experiencing is accumulated stress. The human body can tolerate incredible pressure temporarily. But not endlessly. And maybe one of the most damaging beliefs in modern society is the idea that people should simply push through everything. Keep going. Keep performing. Keep producing. Ignore the exhaustion. Ignore the anxiety. Ignore the emotional overload. But the nervous system always keeps score. Eventually the body forces attention through symptoms. Panic attacks. Insomnia. Emotional numbness. Chronic fatigue. Brain fog. Irritability. Loss of motivation. The body eventually says, I cannot continue living like this. And what's fascinating is that many people don't truly understand how tense they are until they finally experience genuine calm. Sometimes a quiet vacation, a peaceful environment, or time away from constant stimulation suddenly reveals how overwhelmed the nervous system had become. For the first time, the body relaxes. And people realize, I've been carrying tension for months. Maybe even years. Stress becomes especially dangerous when it turns into identity. Some people become so accustomed to anxiety, pressure, and urgency that peace starts feeling unfamiliar. They feel guilty resting, uncomfortable slowing down, restless during silence. Their nervous system has adapted to constant stimulation. And healing can actually feel strange at first because the body no longer knows how to function without tension. But here's the hopeful part. The nervous system is adaptable. Just as the brain can learn stress, it can also relearn calm. And this usually happens through small repeated experiences, not one dramatic moment. Deep sleep. Exercise. Quiet environments. Healthy routines. Laughter. Honest conversations. Breathing slowly. Reducing overstimulation. Feeling emotionally safe around people. Little by little, the body begins understanding, we are not in danger right now. And over time, stress responses become less intense. The mind slows down. Patience returns. Focus improves. Joy becomes easier to feel again. One of the most powerful things a person can learn is how to notice stress before it completely takes over. Noticing shallow breathing. Noticing constant tension in the shoulders or jaw. Recognizing emotional overload early. Understanding when the body needs recovery instead of more pressure. Because modern culture often teaches people to disconnect from themselves. People ignore exhaustion. Ignore emotional pain. Ignore nervous system overload. Until the body finally forces them to stop. And perhaps the deepest truth about stress is this. Most people are not weak. Most people are overloaded. There's a difference. A nervous system carrying too much pressure for too long will eventually struggle no matter how intelligent, disciplined, or successful someone is. And understanding this changes the way you see yourself. Maybe your exhaustion is not laziness. Maybe your anxiety is not failure. Maybe your emotional numbness is not weakness. Maybe your body has simply been trying to protect you the only way it knows how. Because beneath all stress is usually one basic human need. Safety. The nervous system wants to know, am I safe? Can I relax? Can I stop preparing for danger now? And maybe that's why genuine peace feels so powerful. Because when the body finally feels safe, even briefly, something remarkable happens. Breathing deepens. Thoughts slow down. The mind becomes clearer. The world feels lighter again. Not because life became perfect, but because the nervous system stopped fighting invisible danger for a moment. And perhaps understanding stress is not really about eliminating pressure completely. Stress will always exist. The goal is learning the difference between stress that helps you grow, and stress that quietly consumes your life. Because once you understand how stress works, you stop judging yourself so harshly. You stop seeing yourself as broken. You begin understanding that your mind and body have been trying to survive in a world that often asks too much, too fast, for too long. And maybe the most important thing you can do for yourself is not becoming stronger all the time. Maybe sometimes the most important thing is finally allowing yourself to feel safe enough to rest. If this helped you understand your mind better, subscribe for more videos like this.